With you till 1 Eastern and with Tim Legler. And Tim, I want you to watch Lamarcus Aldridge underneath Kevin Durant. That last little baby step. What do you make of this?
Yeah, a little bit of unnatural motion for sure. And, Durant lands flush on top of his foot. He's just lucky he didn't roll it.
And that right foot he's had surgery on. And it's the kind of thing that when people see this, there's a reaction to it. And obviously, given what happened with Zaza, given how Pop reacted to it, and then you see that last little step. And is it just a natural reaction in a basketball game? Or with all the eyes on one game in the playoffs, is it more?
So hard to tell. That actually looked more unnatural, I thought, than what Pachulia did. And I've been saying all along, Pachulia, I thought, fouled him, and they called it, but I don't think it was necessarily a dirty play. This one is different because Aldridge makes the first step right there on the closeout, and then he slides it one more time. And
just
Durant
odd,
lands on
isn't it? It's just odd.
And he looked a little sheepish afterwards, maybe just because he knew that he landed on top of his foot and nothing happened. Boy, is the league going to be taking a look at the closeout lead foot in the offseason.
In the offseason, I could see yes. But this is the
rules
type
committee,
of thing. If game one doesn't happen and this play happens, it's lost in the ether, and nobody. It's noise and it's gone, and nobody says a word about it. But here we are, and I'm asking you what you think of it. Now I'd like to know what you think of this. It was the game demolition as Golden State continues to stay perfect. And I know you had the sense earlier today that this might be one of those nights where Golden State gets it cooking. Here comes Curry. He knew it was good.
Yeah, because they had such a slow start in the last game. I just had a feeling they were going to come out hotter. You know what San Antonio's dealing with emotionally and personnel-wise. And they got cooking real early, and it was a lot of different guys.
Well, yeah, it was 14 a minute ago. Now we're at 27. We're about to make it 30. Curry goes for 29, 6 of 9 from 3. Only played 31 minutes.
And is it me or has Steph been looking a lot more over the last couple of series like the Steph that we saw all of last year? And at times this year we didn't because Durant overshadowed him a little bit.
We tend to do a whole lot of taking for granted, I think, with the stars that we've got. I mean, the guy had 40 on Sunday, and now he's doing this. And then, by the way, they got Draymond while we're at it.
Yeah, all of a sudden Draymond can't miss threes either.
39 assists, as we mentioned earlier. It spreads you out and can give it to you so many different ways. Ian Clark is stepping up, advancing his level of play.
The thing I liked about them tonight and in the first game, even in the comeback, they didn't just rely on the three-point shot. They're at their best when they're also getting stuff off the dribble, and they're getting paint production out of their bigs as well.
Pachulia here hangs on the rim and ended up going back to the locker room himself gingerly. MRI to Mar. Didn't have Iguodala in this game either. Things to keep an eye on. Injuries always a storyline this time of year.
Is Sean Livingston, like he is for me, one of your favorite bench players in the league?
Well, because everything he does feels like the right play.
Does he ever miss a pull-up jumper?
Doesn't seem like it. And that type of night. And there's such respect in the league for Pop, I think universally. And you see the reaction on the bench. And there's Pop. And then we heard from Pop in the locker room, and that's what we talked about a little earlier with Tim. And Rachel Nichols joins us now. Rachel, I know that you, like I did, found his comments to be really, really interesting. What particularly stuck out for you?
Well, he said he was surprised at his team, which Greg Popovich has been around the block a few times, Scott. He's not surprised that often. And he said that he was disappointed that they didn't believe. He said they just didn't believe without Kawhi that they could do that. And that was fascinating to me because if the Spurs have proved anything over the last 20 years, and it's been that long, it's that they can do more with less talent than anybody else. It's about the system, right? It's about the way they operate. It's about being a team and the way the ball moves and they all pull together. So you wouldn't expect this team of all teams to feel like, oh my gosh, we lost our star. We're lost. So I was as surprised as Greg Popovich was, and I was surprised he let us all in on the fact that he was surprised. And the other thing, the second thing that told me is that, wow, this is a team that played against the Rockets without Kawhi Leonard. And Houston was one of the most potently offensive teams in the history of the NBA this season. And apparently, facing James Harden and the Rockets, the Spurs felt, yeah, we can do this, right? Mm-hmm. Facing this Warriors team, clearly they didn't feel that way. And that gives all of us mere mortals an idea, a window into how suffocating it must feel to be on the court against this Golden State team with 2 MVPs and 2 other All-Stars.
I also noticed, Rachel, I'm curious how you reacted to this, that he didn't he didn't knock Lamarcus Aldridge, but he made it very clear more will be expected of him. He passed on shots, and he said he's going to have to give us, I'm paraphrasing, but he's got to be better for us in Game 3. And then he declined to psychoanalyze why, Aldridge didn't take the shots. But I thought that was particularly interesting as well. Did you feel the same?
Yeah, I mean, look, there's just no doubt about it. This is Lamarcus Aldridge's team at this point with Kawhi out, and who knows what's going to happen in Game 3. He's officially listed as questionable. Kawhi is. Greg Popovich has sat guys when other coaches would play them with injuries. Remember, he's the one who shut down Tim Duncan for the postseason when other coaches would have said, yeah, he can go. And Greg was more concerned with Tim's future. If he feels Kawhi is not ready to go in Game 3, we shouldn't just assume Kawhi is coming back. If he doesn't come back, Lamarcus Aldridge has to play differently. He cannot be as tentative. There were times tonight he looked like he wanted to be anywhere but on this basketball court. That's not what you're supposed to do in the Western Conference Finals.
Have we gotten any inkling, Rachel? Because I've heard Jalen mention it now. You're alluding to it to a degree. If we don't see Kawhi again, are there whispers that could perhaps be a situation where he's shut down?
Well, Pop has been very open about the fact that he doesn't know yet. He hasn't made a decision. The assumption in times like this is, hey, he held him out tonight because then when you look from Game 1 to Game 3, it would be 5 days rest in between, and then it's just a sprained ankle, quote unquote. He could go, and that's what we would expect on most teams most times. This is the Spurs. This is Greg Popovich. He has said over and over and over again, he's going to look at the overall health of the player more than the game situation. Even if it's the playoffs, the Western Conference Finals, the NBA Finals, he is going to do what he thinks is best in that moment on that day for that player. Wherever we are, whatever situation we are, not dependent. So he said that Kawhi is questionable. He didn't say probable. He said that we won't really know until Friday or Saturday whether Kawhi can go. So he hasn't made a decision yet. We shouldn't pretend we know what that decision is going to be.
Understood. The worst news, obviously, about having to live with this loss is that you'll have to live with this result for 3 days. The good news is it's 72 hours for Kawhi to potentially get better. Rachel, appreciate the time. Thanks for being with us.